There was also, during that period, the so-called medical indemnity crisis triggered by the collapse of a major medical insurer. How did that unfold as far as the college was concerned?
Well, it involved a large number of fellows, a medical indemnity organisation that covered approximately half of all of the doctors in Australia, which would have included approximately half of all the surgeons in Australia, became insolvent. And so for a brief period, those surgeons involved were not covered for any claims against their practice. The situation arose because of very large monetary settlements or awards that had been made as a result of court judgments, and subsequently laws have been changed, and everything has been restored to some type of normality, but at the time it was very stressful.
Now, during your years as an elected councillor and prior to becoming president, you were elected to a number of other key college positions. You've referred to the role of deputy censor. Could you outline those roles and their significance?
Well, I was elected to council in 2002. After a year, I started to be appointed to various committees and eventually became chairman of a number of those, with the exception of being vice president and president later on. They were all involved with education. I was chair of the Board of Advanced Surgical Training, which later became the Board of Surgical Education and Training with our new training program. I was chairman of the Court of Examiners and Censor-in-Chief. And earlier on, even before I was on council, I was heavily involved with general surgery training and examinations. I was the chairman of the Queensland Board of General Surgical Training, became the national chair for general surgery training, and I was an examiner in general surgery for 10 years, and in the last 2 years of that time I was the senior examiner in general surgery. So I've been very interested and engaged with surgical education and examinations for a long time now.
Did you see then a move towards the vice presidency and ultimately the presidency as a natural progression in that phase of your career with the council?
When I first started, even on council, I did not have any ambition to become vice president or president. It seemed such a distant possibility that it didn't influence my thinking at all. I was interested in engaging more and, if possible, reforming and improving our processes of education and assessment. As events unfolded, I developed more and more leadership responsibility, and ultimately councillors appointed me as the vice president and eventually president. You may know that our electoral system for senior office bearers takes place on an annual basis, so it's a form of performance review, and it's within council. The senior office holders are appointed from within council, and the electing body is council itself. The councillors are elected by the whole fellowship, and 9 of them are elected by their own specialty groups, but the senior office holders' positions in council are elected from within council and by the council itself.